Hello, and welcome back to It's All Been Done Radio Hour. Or if this is your first time listening, just welcome. This week's episode is from Morning Show, a fantastic segment, in my completely unbiased opinion. Before we get to that, we want to thank Circle 270 Media, which this podcast is part of, Red Herring Theater, our home venue for live shows, and It's All Been Done Presents, our wonderful host site. IABD Presents produces podcasts, written work, video, and more. Check it out at iabdpresents.com. You can follow us on social media at IABD Presents. We're on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and on Facebook, there is a separate page for It's All Been Done Radio Hour. And now, without further ado, It's All Been Done Radio Hour.
Our next feature today is Morning Show. Morning Show is a morning radio program in Columbus, Ohio. Its producer is Shelly Meyers.
30 seconds to air.
Host Pat Schock embraces the hard-hitting news the show has become.
1 second, just need to polish my opening.
While co-host Gus Goodall wishes they'd stuck to comedy.
Well, she said you had 30 seconds, Pat, so yes, you've got one.
Previously on Morning Show, a zombie-like outbreak began in California. To contain the spread, the president nuked the West Coast, resulting in 25 million lives lost. Unfortunately, that did not end the crisis, as refugees flee to the east, and new confirmed cases have been found in Mexico. Tonight's episode, We the People. We join our cast as they prepare for a new episode.
Morning, Pat. Gus, are you ready for today?
Am I? No, I'm really asking. I mean, am I?
It's fine, we both are.
You better be ready, Gus.
Why? This was Pat's idea. I didn't want to do it. I don't like talking with people.
You're a radio host. All you do is talk.
Yeah, I love talking at people, just not with them.
I think it's important that we speak to average citizens. Otherwise, we risk being in a bubble, only hearing what we want to hear.
Personally, I think most people aren't worth listening to. I would just as soon only book experts and those of note, not Greg from the Bronx.
Normal people have valid opinions. That's the best part of living in a democracy. Everyone gets their say.
Well, it doesn't feel like much of a democracy at the moment.
All the more reason to do this.
Hey, Pat, I gave in. The segment is slated for today. The guests are booked, so you don't have to convince me anymore. You just better do a damn good job of it if you ever want to do it again.
Oh, ma'am, yes, ma'am.
It'll be great.
Okay. Now you two get in there and start the show. I will get our guests on the line.
Hello?
Hi, is Greg Hansley there?
That's me. Is this Shelly Meyers?
It sure is. Now, Greg,
I'm
gonna...
sorry to interrupt, Mrs. Myers, but I just have to tell you how much I love your show. I just moved to Columbus just before it premiered, and it's been such a revelation.
Well, thank you, Greg.
To be on it myself, it's just a dream come true. I think my whole family's going to listen in.
Wonderful.
It's Mrs. Myers, so I don't sound like a total yokel.
I'm sure that you will be fine, Greg. Just sit tight. I'm going to put you on hold now, and you'll go on the air in just a few minutes.
Wow, that sure will be.
Oh, God. I hate this whole idea. Next.
Hi, this is Sarah Griffith.
Hi, Sarah. Shelly Meyers. You ready to go on?
I was up all night prepping, so I would say yes.
Great. Now please hold, and we will get you right over to the hosts.
On the station.
And that's why I thought it was important to give some of you a chance to talk. Hopefully this will be a regular segment. For our first attempt, we have Sarah Griffith, an adjunct professor at a local college.
And to protect the guilty, we won't say which one.
And Greg Hansley, an electrician from Grandview by way of the Bronx. Welcome, Sarah and Greg.
I'm thrilled to meet you, Pat, or talk to you. Meet you by voice, and you too, Gus.
Oh, delightful.
Yes, thank you both for having me on. I'd like to start by jumping right into the main...
Oh, little lady. We're the hosts, thank you. But how about you let us guide the discussion, please?
Whatever you'd prefer.
Well, I prefer not to do this at all, but since Pat's making me, I'll ask the first question. Who has the best donuts in town.
Excuse me?
Easy. That has to be DK Diner.
Oh, ding, 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 ding. I would have also accepted Buckeye Donuts.
I prefer Amy's. They bring an LA sophistication to the area.
Ugh, Amy's, they put Little Debbie's and cereal on plain glazed. I mean, cereal on donuts. That's trash.
That just proves that you haven't given
Let's
them.
move on to less controversial topics, shall we? What do you think of President Anderson closing our southern border and building a wall?
It's a clear violation of civil rights.
Oh, how so?
We're not a nation that boxes ourselves in. Keeping others out like animals, it's inhumane.
Well, I mean, it's not like we had open borders before.
Well, yes, but it's blatantly cruel.
Pardon me, miss, but I don't think so.
What do you think, Greg?
I think it makes sense to stop the zombies, but is a wall the best use of our resources? Wouldn't a patrol be cheaper and almost as effective?
Cheaper? How? You build the wall once and it's there. People patrolling would have to keep coming back indefinitely, and they'd likely miss some.
Zombies are slow, sure. They might miss one, but they catch any groups. We have to balance what we can do with what we have to do it with.
That's an interesting point.
Well, patrols will scare off any Mexican refugees trying to get across, and a wall will block them completely, so either way, it's still cruel.
Do you suggest we let everyone cross the border who wants to?
Yes, everyone alive. Are you suggesting we turn away innocents whose lives are in danger?
Well, I can see why we might. We're already stretched thin with our own who had to flee to the West Coast.
Ha ha!
But if you'd let me finish, I'd say that while it could bend us to help, it won't break us. We have to uphold our values. And besides, our president started the whole thing, so we owe it to them to help.
Absolutely. Though, while I don't think we should turn away refugees, our focus should be helping the Mexicans make their own country zombie-free, so they don't have to leave their homes.
Agreed.
I thought this was supposed to be a debate, not a love fest.
Let them agree, Gus. Not everything has to be a fight.
Tell that to President Anderson.
Huh. Excuse me? Do you have an issue with our first female president?
Oh, yes, many.
I agree with Gus on this one. I'm very displeased with President Anderson.
Of course. You probably voted for the last guy, didn't you?
I did not, but none of us voted for this one. She made some very radical changes to this country.
We're in the middle of a crisis.
All the more reason to hold an election so we can choose who will lead us through it.
That's quite a heated topic right now.
It shouldn't be. President Anderson has been in office for just a few months. Give her a chance before you try to boot her out.
She's welcome to run to keep the job. She just needs the people's backing.
Oh, she has it.
Not from where I'm sitting.
Exactly, Gus. Her agenda is being questioned at every turn. So let's have a real debate about it, and then we can decide as a nation to move forward with her or without.
You favor someone else, I assume?
As a matter of fact, I do, but that's not the point.
Oh, yes, it is. You just don't like her.
It doesn't matter if I do or not. Don't you think she'd have an easier time of things if people couldn't claim that she hadn't legitimately gotten the position?
She's legitimate. Johnson didn't get this kind of pushback after JFK.
Johnson was elected vice president. President Anderson was not. She was a congresswoman elected by the district.
Not just a congresswoman, Speaker of the House. And if she didn't do what
let's move on.
Pat, I think this is just getting good.
Well, we'd be holding an election in less than a year anyway. Is that soon enough, or are you suggesting we act sooner, Greg?
I reckon next November is soon enough. As long as we have it, but the normal primary season is upon us, and the race hasn't even started yet because the president has basically indicated that it won't happen.
Look, President Anderson deserves more than a short time to address the crisis before we replace her.
Like I said, that should be up to the voters to decide.
What are you looking for in a leader for the next 4 years?
Look, we have it. Bold, decisive action. Show our strength, but don't be heartless.
And no wall?
Look, no wall. The one thing I disagree with the president on.
I want to see someone who projects an air of civility and confidence, a solid plan to compassionately deal with the unstable situation and lead us back to normalcy.
Oh, I think that ship has sailed.
I think you two aren't that far apart here.
I agree.
Well, that's crazy. Only one of us supports our president.
With all due respect, miss, that's not true. I support President Anderson. I may not agree with her, and I think we have the right and responsibility to choose our leaders, but I respect whoever holds that office.
Well said, Greg.
Later.
So?
That went surprisingly well.
Pat Shock, healing the nation one conversation at a time.
Hardly.
But it was a bit better than I had imagined. You were good, Pat. You're very good.
So I can do this again?
Yes. Yeah, I think we can add it to the rotation.
Mm-hmm. I don't like that look in her eyes, Pat.
What look? I don't have a look.
Gus is right. The wheels are turning in your head.
I don't know what you are talking about. Look, we're back on the air in 20, so better get back to your mics.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now don't you start that too, Pat. God.
Oh, well, look at us. It's one big, happy family of man.
Are they one big happy family? Can the president hang on to her office? And what is Shelly thinking? Come back next time to find out in another episode of Morning Show.
It's All Been Done Radio Hour number 301, Morning Show, Episode 7, We the People, was written by Jerome Wetzel and directed by Kristin Green. It starred Kristin Green as Shelly Meyers, Keith Jackson as Pat Schuck, Nathan Haley as Gus Goodall, Gavin Wycuff as Greg, and Samantha Stark as Sarah. This episode was narrated by Darren Esler, and our Foley artist is Seamus Talty. Our technical director is Shane Stefanchik. Our music director is Kristin Green. Theme songs are composed by Nathan Haley with lyrics by Jerome Wetzel, and the podcast is edited by Chris Allen. Please check out our website, itsallbeendoneradiohour.com. Don't forget to support us at patreon.com/IABD. A $10 donation gets you a free ticket to our live show, and a $5 donation gets you a $5 ticket to our live show. Have a great week.
It's All Been Done presents
Who's Got the Time?